So one of the things that are really sort of topical within corporate right now is the use of pronouns. What are your thoughts on the use of pronouns?
That's a good question. I don't think any corporation should force people to use pronouns. I think it should be up to the employee or the member to decide whether they want to disclose pronouns. I have personally don't see a need for me to use my pronouns, although I have before, because it's a very personal choice to use pronouns, and I feel like who Keith Richards is, you can sense my sincerity without me presenting my pronouns. I am what they call cisgendered male. So cisgendered means what you see, what you perceive to see is what I am. But I do understand the value of other people wanting to use the pronouns because they want to maybe project that they are a safe person. Some people want to make sure that you reference them properly, and that's okay too. Quite honestly, if somebody misgendered me, I don't know how that would happen, but if they did, I wouldn't be insulted. But that's Keith Richards. But you might say, you know what, that's great, Keith, because you look a certain way that people won't misgender you. But I need to have my pronouns, whether it's she, they, he, what have you. The only struggle I've had with the use of pronouns is I'm 54 years old. I have grown up understanding that they is a pluralized form. When I hear they, I'm looking for multiple people. But in the use of pronouns, they has become something that people use to describe somebody that may not want to be identified with either side of gender expression, and so they want to just be references they for various reasons, and none of which I want to challenge or that I have a problem with. But I just, from an English language standpoint, if you used they when you were writing a report, or if you use they when you're writing a paper, your teacher is going to deduct marks for improper grammar because they is a plural. Now, some people will say, "Well, I use they because maybe my gender expression is I transition between multiple gender thoughts or expressions," and that's fine. But what we have to understand is that's not what I am seeing. I get that's what's in your heart, and I appreciate that. But what I'm not seeing they. I'm seeing one person.
Right.
So that becomes a struggle. Is that inside you might say, Keith, I'm transitioning back and forth, which is why I use they, which is fine. But Keith Richards is seeing one person, and so that becomes that fundamental struggle. And then the question becomes, where does the priority lie between what you are projecting and what I am seeing? And that becomes a struggle for people, and it becomes a struggle for everybody, especially if I had a friend. Actually, it's funny. We were just having this discussion probably 2 weeks ago, and his daughter came to him and said, "Okay, so I'm going to be going out, and when I stop by their house, we're going to go to A, B, C, and D." And he said, "Well, okay. How many people are going?" "Oh, just me and Bob." "You said you're going to see them." "Yeah, yeah." And so there's confusion because his daughter was talking using they or them or their, but the daughter was speaking about a singular person who used that pronoun. And the confusion was, my friend said, I only want you going with one person. I think just maybe she was driving. And the daughter was saying, "Yeah." And I'm doing what you said, right? And so this whole confusion because he said, "No, just one person." "Yeah, I'm going to pick them up." And, and he had to stop and have this discussion. Now, he figured out that the daughter was talking about a singular person, but that's not how the daughter was. And the daughter was quite comfortable in using that pronoun, which is fine, but you can see how the confusion starts because he's saying one person in the car with you, and they're saying, "Yep, and I'm going to go pick them up." And he's like, hold on.
Right. Yeah. It's difficult to comprehend.
It's difficult to comprehend.